Guys, let's go and knock out this homework. It said exercise 1-6, factoring the polynomials. I'll try to work these out really quick. The first one is m squared minus 49. I know that to do this, this is like m squared minus 7 squared, because the square root of 49 is 7. And to get a negative 7, I would have to have m minus 7 and m plus 7, okay? Because I would need to get rid of that middle term. And by having a negative 7 and a positive 7, that would give me a negative 7m plus 7m. They would cancel each other out, okay? And that leaves me m times m, which is m squared, and negative 7 times positive 7, which is negative 49. So that should work out. M plus 7, M minus 7. All right, going to do number 3. Number 3 says I've got 64 minus 81d squared. Well, I know the square root of 64 is 8, and then the square root of 81 would be 9 squared, and then we have the d squared here. So I can change this to equal 8 minus, I could put in parentheses, 9d squared, and that's going to give me 8 minus 9d and 8 plus 9d. Again, since the middle term is missing from here, I have to know that one of them be negative and one will be positive. So we should have, 8 plus 9d and 8 minus 9d. All right, number 7's next. Number 7 says we're going to take 12 to the second power minus 9 to the second power. All right. I've actually already got the work over here shown for this, so I'm just going to bring it up. This is the same as saying 9, because I've got both of these as second power. I can say that this is 12 minus 9 to the second power, which is going to equal 12 plus 9 and 12 minus 9. 12 plus 9 is going to give me 21. 12 minus 9 is 3, and 21 times 3 is 63. All right? You have all the evens to do, so I'm moving on. Number 13 goes up here, and we see that we've got h squared plus 12h plus 36, and that means I see that there's a plus here and a plus here. That means I'm definitely adding. So this is going to be a h plus 6 squared. And what really easy about this is, since I know that I'm adding these, I can almost assume then that I can take this number and divide it by 2 to get my answer. And if it comes up to, if I take that number and half it, and then I multiply it to itself and get this, that tells me what my answer is right there. So factoring the polynomial, I should have h plus 6 to the second power. Okay, I'm going to go to number 15 now. It's giving me y squared minus 22y plus 121. Well, when I do this, I know I could take 22, split it in half, that's going to be 11. And 11 times 11 does give me 121. But this is a negative number, this is a positive. So that tells me that my y is going to have a negative 11, because I know a negative times a negative will give me a positive. But when I add them together, it will give me a bigger negative number. So this would be y minus 11 squared. All right, let's go to number 17. Number 17, I have a squared minus 28a plus 196. You might think, how the heck am I going to find what equals 196? Again, go to the middle number. Divide it in 2. 28 divided by 2 is 14. So let's go with that. 14 times 14. Well, 4 times 4 is 16. Carry the 1. That's going to give me a 56. And then this would be a 0 with a 1, 4. And that's going to give me my 196. Okay? So that tells me 14 was the right number. It's going to be A. Since this is a positive number, this is negative. It's a negative 14. Okay? And then we're going to square it. Because a negative times a negative is a positive. And then I'll add these later. So this should be A minus 14 to the second power. All right, number 19 is next. Number 19, we've got 25n to the second power plus 20n plus 4. When I do this, I know that the square root of 25 is 5, so this would be 5n. The square root of 2, or 4, will be 2. And I know this is going to work out fine because when I take 5n, remember this is going to be like 5n plus 2 times 5n plus 2. 5n times 2 is going to give me 10n, right? And I'm going to end up doing that twice because this is going to be 5n times, or 2 times 5n, and that's going to be another 10n, and that's where I'm going to get the 20n here, okay? So it should be 5n plus 2 to the second power. All right, let's move on. It says the area in square centimeters of a square drink coaster can be represented by D to D to the second power, excuse me, plus 8D plus 16. All right, so remember we're dealing with square centimeters, so more than likely this coaster is square. That means we're going to take 2D plus 8D, 2 to the second power, plus 8D plus 16. I know the square root of D squared would be D. Square root of 16 is going to be 4. And I know 4 plus 4 equals D. So that's going to be D plus 4 squared, right? It says write an expression to represent the perimeter. Well, remember, if the perimeter is what we're looking for, the perimeter of a square is going to be D plus 4 multiplied to each other 4 times, because a square has 4 sides. You can see right here I'm taking 4 times D plus 4, and 4 times D is 4D, and 4 times 4 is 16. So my answer should be 4D plus 16. You have 24 to do. I'm going on to 25 now. This one says we're going to solve the equation. So when I solve this, I see I got Z squared minus 4. Well, we know this is going to be Z plus 2 and Z minus 2. We remember that this is equal to Z squared, right, minus 2 squared. And when we have that minus here, we have to put a positive and a negative. So now we can break this up and make this Z plus 2 equals 0. And we'll minus 2 from both sides. So that tells me that Z will equal negative 2. And then we have Z minus 2 equals 0. And we're going to add 2 to both sides. That's going to give me, let's see here. That's going to give me Z equals 2. All right. So my answer should be negative 2 and positive 2. There you go. I'm going on to number 27 now. 27, we have K minus 16K plus 64. Well, I'm sorry, this was K squared. And that means I'm going to have K over here. And I'm going to have, well, half of 16 is 8. So I'm going to say a negative 8. And negative 8 times negative 8 will give us positive 64. So this is going to be squared now. Now, this is different from the one we had over here that was negative. It would give us two possible answers. So this is going to be k minus 8 is equal to 0. We're going to add 8 to both sides. And that means k is going to be equal to 8. And there is no negative 8 there. It should just be 8. There we go. Now we've got number 29. 29 we have, let me move this out of the way a little bit. In 29 we have n to the second power plus 9 equals 6n. Well, first we're going to have to subtract 6n from both sides. This is going to leave us with n to the second power minus 6n plus 9 equals 0. Okay? When I do this, I'm looking for two numbers, a number multiplied to itself that would give me 3. So this is going to be n. And because this is a negative number here, I know it's negative 3. Because a negative times a negative will give me a positive, but negative plus a negative will give me a negative 6. So this is going to be n minus 3, right? Let's see. We're going to have to see, are we going to square this? Yeah, we're not subtracting here, so this is going to give us, yeah, this is going to be squared, so this would be n is minus 3 will equal 0, and then we'll have to add 3 to both sides. And this is going to give me n is equal to 3. Now it says negative and positive 3, and I'm going to double check this. I don't agree with this because we have a positive 9 here. There's no way that a positive times a negative equals this. I'm going to double check my work and then get back with the video. All right, I went and checked that, and I was correct. What we had written there was wrong, so just to clarify, this was number 29. And on 29, this n squared plus 9, which equals 6n. We said we had to minus 6n from both sides, which was going to give us an n squared minus 6n plus 9. We knew that we needed two negative numbers to get 9, so that's going to be n minus 3 squared. And so that only leaves us one number there, so one term there. That's n minus 3 equals 0. And we're going to add 3 to both sides, which means we have n is equal to 3, and 3 alone, not negative 3. All right. Next is 31. 31 says we've got, and it's going to take some work, so I'm going to erase some of this stuff here. It would have been faster if I just erased all the ink, but too late now. All right. So we're going to start here with y squared plus 1/2 y is equal to negative 1/6. Well, to get the 0 over here, we're going to have to add, sorry, that's a 16. I'm going to have to add 1 over 16 to both sides. That's going to change us to y squared plus 1/2 y plus 1 over 16 equals 0. To solve this, we realize we're going to have to multiply all this to 16. And that'll get rid of that denominator down there. And now we can take 16 times y squared, that's 16y squared. 1/2 y, well, that's going to make this plus 8y. And the 16 times, well, 16 times 1 is 16. 16 over 16 is 1. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and, so what number times itself will equal 16? That's 4. And then y, right? Because y times y is y squared. And then we have this 1 over here, so that's going to give me a positive 1. And I know it has to be positive because the middle term is positive, right? And that's going to be squared. Let's see if this works. We got 4y times 4y, that's 16y squared. We got 1 times 1, which is 1. Then we got 4y, and remember, this is another 4y plus 1 over here because we're squaring it, right? 4y times 4y would give us 4y times 1 would give us 4y, and then 1 times 4y would give us another 4y, and that together would add up to be the 8y. So this is correct. So now we're going to have to solve for it. That means we're going to take 4y plus 1 and make it equal to 0. Well, we're going to have to subtract 1 from both sides. Now we've got 4y is equal to negative 1. We're going to divide by 4. And that's going to give us y is equal to negative 1 over 4. Negative 1 over 4. All right, number 32 is yours to do. Looks like I got number 35 and 36 left. Factor the polynomials. If I factor these polynomials, I need to go ahead and say, well, what goes into these? I see that 3 goes into z squared, right? I can divide 3 out of both of these, right? And I'm not quite sure why I have 32 over here. I think that was a misprint. I don't think this should be here. I think it should just be, actually this should be a 9, right? Yeah, this should have been a 9. Okay, and if that's a 9, then we know that z times, right, we can square z out. And then to get a negative 9, we need a plus 3 and a negative 3. So I'm glad we caught that little error there. All right, so this is a 9. This is non-existent over here. I hate that that's written like that, but I'm not about to go ahead and do this video over again for it. If you want to, just consider this the parentheses and just scratch all that out. All right. Now it says factor the polynomial. We factor that out. Oh, sorry. We're going on to, you have 36, so I have 37 over here. To do this one, we're going to factor out what number goes into 50, 120, and 72. That number is just going to be 2. All right. When we factor out 2, we're going to get 25y squared. When we factor out 2 from 120, we get 60. We factor out 2 from 72, we get 36. 25 and 36 are nice numbers because the square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 36 is 6. And now we have 2 times 5y plus 6 squared. And we're done there. Let's see. Well, it looks like I did all the ones that I'm responsible for. You get all the evens. I'll see you in class for grading, and have a great night.